Welcome to Pullman, Washington, Linfield, and Washington State getting ready here on the midweek. Trevor Williams and our entire Pac-12 Plus crew with you here from Bailey Brayton Field this afternoon. As you see, the Cougars getting ready to get it going here this afternoon. Washington State coming in, they've lost 6 consecutive games. Linfield has dropped 5 straight. So something's got to give for these two teams here this afternoon, and both hoping to pick up a win here in the midweek. Washington State has UCLA coming in this weekend. You see Spencer Jones emerging out of that huddle for Washington State. He'll be the starting pitcher for the Cougars. We'll talk more about him in a moment. As you take a look at the lineup that he's going to face from the Linfield Wildcats team out of McMinnville, Oregon, just to the south of Portland. You see how they line up here. Jake Hoskins, Danny Kahn, Brandon Passion, then Tyler Marr, Nick Holm, Bodie Smith, Cameron Skinner, Trent Wainfeld, and Garrett Ringer. And their head coach was a former Coug, Dan Spencer, former associate head coach at Washington State. So he makes a return here to the Palouse to coach against his former team in Washington State. Spencer, a longtime collegiate baseball coach, was once the head man at Texas Tech as well. For the Cougars, left-hander Spencer Jones is getting the start today. Jones this season in 13 1/3 innings has given up 8 earned runs, 14 strikeouts to 7 walks, only 3 extra base hits so far this year. So we'll see how he can do this afternoon, getting it dialed up for the Cougars. Washington State will look a little bit differently behind Spencer Jones, and part of that because Jake Harvey has returned to the lineup for the Cougars. We'll see him hit in the bottom half of the inning, but he's in left with Bryce Matthews in center, Max Hartman getting the nod in right field, Cam McGee at third, Kyle Russell at short, Elijah Heinlein at second, and Jacob McKeon at first, and Jacob Morrow doing the catching for Spencer Jones today. So Jones getting his last warm-up toss done. It's a 45-degree day on the Palouse. Jake Hoskins will lead off for Linfield. So Hoskins stamping in. We're just about ready to get it going today. First pitch from Jones. We'll drop it in on that inside half of the plate to Hoskins. Washington State was just down in Los Angeles. Next pitch lifted right field line. Hartman with it and adjusts to make the catch near the foul line for out number 1. So a couple pitches and an out right away for Spencer Jones to get it going this afternoon. Next batter in, Danny Kahn, second baseman. Two teams have never met. Kahn fouling off the next pitch. Spencer Jones looking for his first strikeout. It's fouled back on the 0-2 pitch. Good job right now for Spencer Jones working ahead of these first couple hitters. Here's his 0-2 pitch. Just slotted it outside from Kahn. Kahn, who's from Seattle, Roosevelt High School. Good amount of Washingtonians on this Linfield club. A 1-2 foul. Linfield playing in the Northwest Conference. Teams folks may be familiar with around here: Whitman, George Fox, Pacific. A hit to the right side and through for Danny Kahn. Able to drive it into right field in front of Max Hartman for a 1-out single. And first base runner of the day for Linfield. Whitworth up there as well, and Lewis and Clark. So Linfield in that 9-team conference right now, 6th in the early going this year, 9-15 the record on the season. Brandon Passion now. First pitch swinging, lifted to right field. Hartman with it. Take him a few steps back for out number 2. Busy start out in right field for Max Hartman. Couple putouts and a single out in front of him out there for Danny Kahn, who stands at first base there in the top of the first inning. So we'll see what the Wildcats catcher Tyler Marr can do with it here with a couple outs at the top of the first inning. Jones going to move with the runner back over to first base. Lights on here in the early going. As mentioned, mid-40-degree temperatures. Light breeze out to right field. Marr taking on the first pitch, and it's in on the upper inside corner for strike 1. Mostly strikes here in the top of the first inning from Cougars starter Spencer Jones. Finds a lower inside corner for strike 2. Cougs got home from Los Angeles late Sunday night. Back in class for a day and a half, and then here at home. The 0-2 high. Spencer Jones, the junior from Salt Lake City, Utah. And drops one in the turf, trying to see if Marr would go after it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the Linfield catcher in the top of the first inning. Jones a couple flyouts to right field here in the first. Runner goes with the 2-2. Morrow out to second, throws on the money, and he got Danny Kahn. Caught him stealing. So Jacob Morrow catches another runner on this 2023 season. He's been doing that well for the Cougs, and they'll take their first swings here in a moment when we come back to Bailey Brayton Field. We go to the bottom of the first inning in Pullman, Linfield, and Washington State. Cam McGee, Kyle Russell, Sam Brown will start it off for the Cougars. You see the full batting order for the Cougs here. Day off for Jonah Advincula. He's been struggling a little bit at the plate, but Cam McGee has been really tough so far in the young season. You see Max Hartman and Jake Harvey returning to the lineup. Harvey been banged up for a little while for the Cougars, so it'll be good to see the utility man for Washington State available this afternoon. Nick Alder is the starting pitcher for Linfield. Numbers on the season, you see his 16 innings, 9-run ERA with the 11 strikeouts. And behind him defensively for the Wildcats, they line like this. Bodie Smith in left, Garrett Ringer in center, Trent Wainfeld in right, Nick Holm, Jake Hoskins, Danny Kahn, Brandon Passion left right around the infield with Tyler Marr doing the catching. So Cam McGee to lead off for Washington State this afternoon. Alder's first pitch. McGee moved to leadoff role Sunday against USC. Takes a strike. Arizona State transfer. Just played well at the start of this year. Found the 1-1 back. His 11-game hitting streak, 15-game on-base streak snapped Sunday against the Trojans. And high and away. See the count even to the Cougar leadoff man McGee, 2-2 here in the first. In the top half, Spencer Jones, couple flyouts. Jacob Morrow caught a runner stealing at the end of the frame. McGee, high chopper. It clears the mound out to second. Kahn trying to get a throw off in time. He does not. And Cam McGee beats out the infield single. Taking advantage of that chopper to take first for the Cougs. Danny Kahn trying to do everything he could to get to that ball and make the throw over to first base in time. But the Cougars have a runner right away in the first inning for Kyle Russell. Russell fouls the first pitch into the glove of Tyler Marr. Home plate umpire today, Bradley Hungerford. Jeff Clough at first, Kellen Levy at second, Nolan Early at third. Russell hitting it left side, off to the right, sliding stop Hoskins, and he's able to get it to Kahn to get the lead runner. Nice play by Hoskins on the fielder's choice, sliding over to that right side. Sam Brown now. Cam McGee was able to get aboard with a single here in the first inning. Trying to kick off a new hit streak here over the next few days. There's that 11-gamer coming to an end. Sam Brown with Kyle Russell being chased back to the bag. Brown also a significant streak that came to an end down in Los Angeles. 22-game on-base streak. All 22 games to start the year. It was game number 23 that he didn't get on. And right away, he'll ensure he gets on today into left field for a hit. Russell's digging for third, and Russell sliding in just ahead of the tag to give the Cougars corner runners. Nice piece of hitting by Sam Brown. Staying with it the other way. Brown giving the Cougars corner runners here in the last of the first inning. Jacob McKeon going to try to drive in the game's first run. McKeon comes in with 21 runs driven in on the season, and he takes strike one. Move over to first base. McKeon is 4 RBI behind Sam Brown for the Cougar team lead. Now 3 hits off the team leading pace of Brown, who just collected his 30th of the season. Alder's 0-1 pitch. McKeon lifts it down the right field line with some carry. McKeon taking it to the corner. Long run. Tough catch for Wainfeld. It'll tag up Russell from third base. Cougars on the board. Sac fly, Jacob McKeon. It's 1-0 Washington State in the first inning. Ball nearly tailed away from Trent Wainfeld in right, as you see Sam Brown has moved up to second base as well. So Jacob Morrow capped the top half of the frame. Catching a runner stealing, hits one to the left side here. This will be a long throw for Hoskins, who's off to his right, but he puts a dart on the money ahead of Morrow for out number 3. Nice play by Jake Hoskins on the infield. Cougs, a couple hits and a run on a sac fly for Jacob McKeon. And after one, the Cougs lead by 1 in Pullman. Second inning in Pullman. And we are waiting on spring out here on the Palouse. 1-0 Washington State. It's a little cool today. Last home series, some nice weather. The Oregon Ducks came to town. Fans enjoyed that. Smaller crowd this afternoon with the game moving up to the 2 o'clock hour, originally scheduled for 4. Tyler Marr was left at the plate in the first inning with Danny Kahn caught stealing. He had worked the count all the way to 3-2. Before Jacob Morrow ended that top half. Off the handle, Russell having to wait on it. But he's able to get the throw there ahead of the Linfield catcher for out number 1 in the second. So Nick Holm up next. Holm, one of the better hitters young season for this team as well. 22 hits, 4 home runs, tied with Jake Hoskins for the team lead. Hoskins and Holm each have 4. The only one in the lineup today with a home run, Trent Wainfeld with 1. Holm is quickly ahead, 2 balls, no strikes. Jones able to get the changeup past Holm. Here comes the 2-1. Foul back. Jones not a strikeout in the first inning, couple flyouts. Here's his first punch out. 90-mile-an-hour fastball in the corner. Freezing Holm for out number 2. So Bodie Smith will try to come through for the Wildcats. Good start here for Spencer Jones. A single erase in the first inning on a runner caught stealing. Jones has been throwing a lot of strikes. Finds the lower outside corner for strike 2. Maybe a bit of a generous spot there for Spencer Jones, but he's had good command today, so he's earning that call. His 0-2 pitch. Back-to-back punch-outs. He got Bodie Smith to go around, and a great second inning for Spencer Jones. Tears right through the Wildcats. And a pair of strikeouts. His Cougs leading 1-0. A new pitcher for Linfield going to the second inning. Could be a committee day for Dan Spencer's Wildcats as Spencer Burgess, right-handed pitcher for Linfield, warming up. Sophomore out of West Seattle O'Day High School. A couple innings of work under his belt this season. Has not given up a hit in his 2 innings, so he'll start against Bryce Matthews, the Cougar center fielder today. First pitch bouncing. Matthews starting to see the ball well over the last weekend in Pac-12 play. It's a rough start to the year for him. He's got the average up closer to 200 now and climbing. Able to get ahead in this at-bat, 2 balls and a strike. And now 3-1 with the pitch high. So Nick Alder will be responsible for 2 hits and an earned run over that first inning. 11 pitches. And Matthews, easy take, pitch skips in there. So a leadoff walk for the Cougars in their half of the second, already leading 1-0 here today. We give Elijah Heinlein a chance now with a man on. Linfield last year able to share of the Northwest Conference title, making their postseason tournament. First pitch swinging for Heinlein to center field. Pacing back with it, Garrett Ringer to make the catch for out number 1. Heinlein right on it. Good swing, but hit it right at Garrett Ringer. So we'll see what Max Hartman can do. Hartman, who's gotten a few starts for the Cougars now. Freshman out of Alberta, Canada. Showing a bunt, pulls it back. The pitch high for ball 1. Third start in his 3rd game for Washington State, all midweekers. They move over to first base. Hartman went 0 for 2 against Seattle U March 7th. 2 for 4, runs scored, and a home run against Gonzaga on March 21st. It was just a week ago. Now he takes the 2-0 pitch with the knees for strike 1. Taking strike 2 as well. Hartman, a former top prospect in Alberta, as rated by Perfect Game. Matthews aboard in the inning on a walk, and he's chased back to the bag with the throw over. Matthews does have 2 stolen bases this year. Hartman fooled on a breaking ball. First strikeout for Linfield today, and Spencer Burgess, after the leadoff walk, comes out with the line out and the strikeout to get an out away from a scoreless second. But Jake Harvey, good story today for the Cougs, for him to be returning to the lineup. The Kennewick native, who previously played at both Oregon State and Cal State Fullerton, in the lineup for the first time since March 4th. Low throw on this from Matthews, but it's picked out and put down by Kahn. Matthews caught stealing, and we'll have to wait another inning before we see Jake Harvey. Score at 2-6. Tyler Marr and Jacob Morrow have each caught a runner now. Cougs after 2 lead this 1-0. Washington State will also pitch by committee today. Duke Brotherton warming up for the Cougars after a good couple of innings from Spencer Jones. He went 2 innings, 1 hit, no runs, 2 strikeouts. You see the numbers here for Duke Brotherton. Get his 5th inning of work. Gonna try to drive that ERA down. Brotherton, who is from Mercer Island, 6'5" right-handed pitcher. 1-0 last year in 7 1/3 innings. Appeared in 3 games his freshman season. First couple outings this year, both 2 innings. Each involve multiple earned runs off of him, so he's trying to clear that up. Pitched against UC Riverside on the opening weekend of the season, and then against Oregon for 2 innings. He'll face the bottom third of the order: Cameron Skinner, Trent Wainfeld, Garrett Ringer for Linfield. 1-0 Cougars here starting off the 3rd inning. First pitch wide of Jacob Morrow. Unable to haul that one in, so Spencer Jones caps his afternoon with a pair of strikeouts back in the 2nd, one looking, one swinging. First time at the plate here for Skinner, who's hitting .310 on the freshman season. He takes ball 2. Gets a fastball past Skinner on the lower half. Big swing. Skinner, who's DHing today with 27 hits. Came in just 6 off the team lead, but has a team best 6 doubles. He takes the 2-1 pitch away. 3 balls, 1 strike. Brotherton gets a chopper left side. Russell having to wait on it. This is a tough play, and the throw will not be in time. Infield chopped single for Cameron Skinner. Sounded like it hit right off the plate and bounced up into the center of the infield, and Kyle Russell, nothing he could do to get to it. Right off that front lip out in front of the plate. That turf just kind of deadens it there. So Trent Wainfeld, the leadoff man on. First time Linfield has started an inning with a base runner on this early afternoon. First pitch swinging on a fastball lifted to right field. Hartman waiting on it. and makes his third putout out in right field already this afternoon.
Center fielder number 38, Garrett Ringer.
So Garrett Ringer now with one out. Just the 7th game of the season for Ringer. Brotherton, a nice pitch. It looked like a slider to that lower outside corner for strike one. The graduated Jack Smith of Mercer Island High School as well. Same high school's Duke Brotherton. Tries to find the lower inside corner and was close. Man on one out here in the third for Linfield. Cougs with the lead on a Jacob McKeon sac fly, and Garrett Ringer getting a little chin music here in the third from Duke Brotherton. Just throwing in the low 90s with the fastball for the Cougs. Gets him with the off speed though for strike two. Good comeback pitch by Brotherton after going high and tight with the fastball, changing speeds, and Ringer was totally off balance on that swing. Couple punch outs already for the Cougs. Spencer Jones, and now Duke Brotherton joins with a breaking ball waved on and missed. First time through the Linfield order. Cougs just giving up a couple hits, and it'll go back to Jake Hoskins, who led it off with a fly ball to right field today. Brotherton popping the glove at Jacob Morrow with a fastball for strike one. How about Brotherton, fourth generation Coug? Mentioned his third season with the program. There's 0-1 to Hoskins. Hit foul down the first base side, 0-2. Both parents, graduates of WSU in the 1990s, both grandparents in the 1960s, and both great-grandparents in the 1930s. He's ahead 0-2 to Jake Hoskins. A little too high. Brotherton trying to cap the third inning the same way Spencer Jones ended the second with a pair of punch-outs. And Brotherton gets a comebacker, snags it, flips to McKeon for out number 3. So after the single, Brotherton retires the next 3, and the Cougars going to the bottom of the third lead this one at home 1-0. Another new pitcher for Linfield, Brian Mannion, warming up for the Wildcats. Mannion working His 8th inning of the season here. Good numbers so far. Able to be right around the zone. Scoreless 2nd inning. Tossed by Spencer Burgess. Went an inning with a walk and a strikeouts. Cougs have been aggressive early in counts. Only 23 pitches through the first couple innings to the Cougs. Scored a run on the first. Sac fly RBI for Jacob McKeon. It was McKeon's 22nd RBI of the season. So Jake Harvey was left at the plate in the second when Bryce Matthews was caught stealing. We were mentioning that for Harvey, it was his first appearance at the plate since March 4th. Before getting banged up, he was on a heater his last 5 games. He was 9 of his last 18 over his 5 games prior to injury. Ball and a strike to him. It raised the average all the way from 125 up to 385 over that early season stretch. Puts a bunt down, foul on the third base side. So the Cougs really excited to have the native of Kennewick back in the lineup. They'll have him for Pac-12 play this weekend. Breaking ball comes inside and hits Harvey right on the protector on the left arm. So leadoff man aboard for the Cougars.
Third baseman, number 7.
And back to the top of the order for Cam McGee. Current picture in the Pac-12. Everyone a little surprised by the way the season has started for both USC and Arizona State. We knew Stanford would be up at the top of the league. They're 7-2 in conference play, 16-5, but Arizona State 17-8, 5-1. They just swept Arizona. Cam McGee is quickly behind, 0-2. And how about USC, 14-9-1. Lost last night to UC Irvine, 5-4. But the Trojans 7-2 to start conference play. We'll check on the runner at first, a pitch out. Nothing doing with Harvey over there. Then UCLA, Washington, Oregon following USC, Oregon State, Arizona, Washington State all tied. An early 3-6 start in Pac-12 play. The goal Brian Green has mentioned to get into postseason conversation is one, you got to take care of these midweek games, but then if you can win 16 conference games, you got a shot. McGee throwing a hand up, telling Harvey to stay put on that pitch in the turf. Cal and Utah right now at the bottom of the league, both 2-7 to start the season in Pac play. McGee, grounder right side. Nice play by Passion to short for 1. Hoskins, no return throw. So it gets the lead runner on the fielder's choice. Nice snag by Brandon Passion. So one away now for the Cougs. Kyle Russell, the shortstop, up next. Every weekend is tough in Pac-12 play, but the Cougars have faced a very tough group to start the season. Beginning with number 15, Oregon State, then Oregon, USC, UCLA, a top 25 team coming onto the Palouse this weekend. And then the Cougars get that hot Arizona State club down in Phoenix for the first full weekend of April. And then Arizona back here in Pullman. It's not until after that you could say that the schedule calms a little bit. Utah, Washington, Cal in 3 straight Pac-12 series after that. So got to start racking up some series wins for the Cougs. Russell bunting it high above the screen, 0-2. Another check over on first. This time for Cam McGee diving back into the bag. Today, other games in the Pac-12, Oregon State against Seattle U as a pitch comes in and domes Kyle Russell. Breaking ball that Brian Mannion lost the handle on. McGee to second. And Russell hit by pitch. Mannion's hit 2 Cougar batters in the inning. First and second with 1 out with Sam Brown coming up. But yeah, Oregon State in Seattle to take on Seattle U. That game's scoreless in the 4th right now. And coming up in about 15 minutes, Cal and San Francisco from USF. The Dons were the last non-conference team to play here at Bailey Brayton Field. Pitch high to Sam Brown for ball 1. And they put together a massive comeback over the Cougs in that one, so they'll get another Pac-12 opportunity. Stanford this weekend going to be in Norman, Oklahoma against the Oklahoma Sooners. An important weekend in the Pac-12 for UCLA. Brown fouling off the 2-0. That's because the Bruins are coming here to take on the Cougs. They need to play well, with USC taking on Utah and ASU taking on Cal. 2 of the teams are at the bottom of the conference, as we mentioned. UCLA is going to be trying to keep pace. Cougars going to try to upend that this weekend on the Palouse. Couple on, 1 out. Brown ahead 2-1, takes a big swing. It's in the air, foul ground, left field line, long run, and nobody gets there in time. Bodie Smith, Nick Holm both trying to converge on it. So as is the game of baseball, you get a long season, 30 games in conference play. The Cougs are only 9 games into it. A good weekend here coming up can grab the momentum right back in their season. Washington State was off to a tremendous start this year. Cougars were at 11-1. It was their best start since 1980 when the club went 18-0. Brown, good swing at the payoff pitch, driving it to center field. Ringer, boy, that turned adventurous at the end. Diving catch, though, short of the wall. And McGee will hold it third, tagging from second to third. And Garrett Ringer had to extend out to get to it for out number 2 as it almost got over his head. It would have been big trouble for the Wildcats on a hard hit ball by Sam Brown. Brown hit that 103 off the bat. Squared it up well. Now Jacob McKeon will try to drive in another run for the Cougs. Sack fly in the first. He has to get it done here in the 3rd inning with a couple outs. Check swing. No, he went around, says Jeff Clough. So Cam McGee at third base, Kyle Russell at first with a couple outs in the 3rd here for the Cougs. McKeon fooled by that breaking ball. Could see him flinch. Never took a swing, and now he's got to fight 0-2. Brian Mannion trying to keep the Cougars off the board in the third inning, keep it a 1-0 ball game. And he does, striking out Jacob McKeon. Great pitch by Mannion, strikes out one of the Cougars' best hitters. And Washington State leaves runners at the corners in the third. After our first three, it's WSU 1, Linfield nothing. This is Cougar Baseball today on Pac-12 Plus. Butch taking in a little Wednesday afternoon baseball action on the Palouse. We go to the top of the fourth inning. 1-0 Washington State. Duke Brotherton stays on to pitch for the Cougs. Danny Kahn, Brandon Passion, Tyler Marr due up for Linfield in the fourth. Big strikeout last half inning by Brian Mannion of Jacob McKeon with a couple Cougar runners on base. Pitch that forces Kahn to dance out of the way, 1-1. Brotherton a strikeout last inning. Got Kahn to go around trying to check his swing on the slider. Brotherton a leadoff single out of the bullpen, but then retired the next three. And now he's out ahead of Danny Kahn, a ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch hit to right field. It'll be out in front of Hartman off to his left side. Hartman back into the infield on the leadoff single in the fourth here for Danny Kahn. Second single of the day. He's got 2 of the 3 hits for Linfield. And the Wildcats getting to open up with a base runner in the fourth. Linfield coming in on a 5-game skid. The Cougars on a 6-game losing streak. Both teams trying to right the ship today. Danny Kahn was already caught stealing back in the first inning. Tried that with 2 outs. More thinking about a throwback to first after that pitch outside. So Kahn on the season is now 1 for 3 in stolen base attempts. Ground ball at first, gobbled up by McKeon to Russell for 1. Back end to Brotherton. Nicely turned double play by the Cougs. 3-6-1. And a leadoff single for Linfield erased here in the fourth. Tyler Marr, the catcher, up next. Breaking pitch low and away. Mara ground out to shortstop his first time up. Starts out ahead of Brotherton. 2 balls, no strikes. Brotherton gets him to lift it in a shallow center field. Calling for it is Heinlein backpedaling onto the outfield grass, and the Cougar second baseman makes the catch for out number 3. Leadoff single erased on the double play, and the Cougars have held Linfield scoreless for 4 innings. Washington State back to hit when we come back. Cougar pitchers throwing a shutout through the first 4 innings. Trying to get the bats awake, though. 1 run in the first. Linfield using its 4th different pitcher here in the first 4 innings. Wyatt Hurley, the new arm for Dan Spencer's Wildcats. Inning 8 for the season coming up for Hurley. Great numbers. Opponents only hitting 174 against Hurley. Jacob Morrow to start off the bottom of the 4th for the Cougars. And strike 1 poured in there. So Brian Mannion, 1 inning. The strikeout of Jacob McKeon, 21 pitches. No hits or runs. He did hit 2 batters to create traffic on the base paths last inning. Morrow taking the breaking pitch, sailed in high. Or almost hit by the 1-1 pitch as well inside. Cougars have been hit 50 times this year. 2 batters hit by pitch in this ball game. Morrow lifting it to center field. It's taking back Ringer. Ringer just shy of the warning track. Maybe a heel onto it to make the catch for out number 1. Again, the Cougars square up another ball, but hit right at Garrett Ringer. Bryce Matthews getting his second opportunity of the day. Cougars in one game earlier this year were hit 9 times. It's back on weekend number 1 against Villanova. It was the most in a single game in Cougar history. Ball and a strike to Bryce Matthews. But 5-game homestand opening up here for the Cougars. Matthews, big swing into center field. Ringer has eyes on it. Good job by Wyatt Hurley. Got that pitch more to the handle for Bryce Matthews. He couldn't put a bunch on it. Got underneath it as well for out number 2. 7 pitches out of the bullpen for Wyatt Hurley to get the first 2 Cougars in the 4th. Elijah Heinlein taking strike 1. Heinlein hammered a line drive to center field in his first at-bat. Now takes one inside, a ball and a strike. Yeah, 5-game homestand here for the Cougs. They get Linfield today, UCLA this weekend, Friday through Sunday, and BYU on Monday. Heinlein uncorks on a 2-1 pitch, and Elijah Heinlein, no doubt about it. Heinlein's 5th home run of the season. And what a sophomore campaign for the second baseman from Spokane. Just absolutely ripped that down the left field line. A great swing by Elijah Heinlein. 109 off the bat. 401 feet for Elijah Heinlein to give the Cougars a 2-0 lead. Look out when Elijah Heinlein is at the plate this year. He is showcasing some power for the Cougs. Ball and a strike to Max Hartman now to lead it off after the home run. Couple outs. 2-0 Cougs last of the fourth. Just a very pretty swing put on by Elijah Heinlein here in this fourth inning. Ground ball right side. Taking Kahn back in his throw there in time to beat Hartman to the bag. Cougs get a run on Heinlein's 5th blast of the season. It's 2-0 Cougars after 4. Well, that looks good, doesn't it? Cougar volleyball team. Magdi Halasheva, All-American for the Cougs. Taking in little loaded fries in the 5th inning with Washington State leading 2-0 over the Linfield Wildcats. Cougs are in action at home volleyball, that is, this weekend. They're going to have an open spring match against Montana. That's on Sunday at 11 a.m. at Bowler Gym. And they're going to open up a brand new court there as well. They put in a new Terraflex floor, so it'll be fun to see as Liam Miller gets to warming up on the mound for the Cougars. Miller this season, couple innings, couple earned runs, 2 strikeouts. So we'll see the freshman from Rancho Palos Verdes, California, get a look here in the 5th with the Cougs up 2-0, fresh off a home run from Elijah Heinlein to left field. Nick Holm, Bodie Smith, Cameron Skinner to lead off the 5th for Linfield. If you're wondering about that volleyball action on Sunday, if you're going to go check it out, it is free admission. Open to the public, 11 a.m. again against Montana. Another breaking ball from Liam Miller, couple for him out of the bullpen. It's 0-2 to Nick Holm. So Duke Brotherton, 2 innings, 2 hits, a strikeout, no runs, his final line. Miller's 0-2 pitch, low and inside. 24 pitches for Duke Brotherton, 25 for Spencer Jones, the Cougar starter today. And the 1-2 pitch landed foul. Holmes struck out one of those 2 punch outs for Spencer Jones earlier. Now the 1-2. And that bounces inside, and Nick Holm trying to say it hit his back foot. Home plate umpire Bradley Hungerford disagrees. Dan Spencer, the former associate head coach at Washington State, asking for the umpires to come together and talk about it. He's familiar with this Bailey Brayton Field diamond. Was here prior to the current Cougar coaching staff. See a lot of head shaking for the umpires on the infield. Don't think anyone saw anything different. They are asking Dan Spencer if he's going to challenge it, and he will. So the umpires will go take a look at it. They said, home plate umpire is the one that's got the eyes on it. No one's going to say anything, but if you want us to come together and take another look at it, we can. So this is new this year in the Pac-12. And now you can challenge plays. So there are a bunch of things you can and can't challenge. Hit by pitch is one of the reviewable play types. There's certain types of fair foul ball calls that umpires can check. You have home run calls, catch plays in the outfield or foul territory, catch plays on the infield. Spectator interference, hard to come by in Pullman, but it is reviewable. Scoring plays at home plate, including arguments about collisions, force tag play calls, base running calls, hit by pitch calls, which is what we're looking at right now. And then you can check tag ups, non-home run boundary calls, placement of runners, interference for breaking up a double play, catcher's interference, and any type of malicious contact. So we'll see what the umpires come away with here in the top of the 5th. Nick Holm thought he was hit by pitch, and after review, they said he was. Said the ball hit his back foot. So the review successful for Dan Spencer and Linfield.
Batting left fielder number 24, Bodie Smith.
So Nick Holm hit by the 1-2 pitch. And he's aboard. So the challenges will be retained for Linfield. You get 2 per game, but if your challenge is successful, you retain it for later use. Holm chased back over to the bag. So we will see video review become a regular occurrence now at Bailey Brayton Field and across the Pac-12. A bunt shown, pulled back, but strike one anyways to Bodie Smith. We saw it used just a couple times this last weekend down in Los Angeles. The Cougars down there. Miller right back to it with another strike. He's up 0-2. So we'll see how he bounces back here after the hit batter. One double play dialed up by the Cougs last inning. On a ground ball to first. Miller trying to entice Bodie Smith outside, 1-2. 3 punch-outs so far for the Cougs. Pitching staff has had some magnificent games in terms of tossing strikeouts this year. 3 times this year, WSU pitching has struck out 17, tied for the 3rd most in single-game history. Twice the Cougs did it against Oregon in their last home Pac-12 series. 2-2's line to left field, but right at Jake Harvey for out number 1. And Nick Holm chased back over to first base.
Designated hitter number 21, Cameron Skinner.
So Cameron Skinner with 1 out. Linfield trying to string some base runners together. They haven't had more than 1 on it any time in the ballgame so far today. Skinner takes strike 1 from Liam Miller. Off speed. Had Skinner out in front, 0-2. Cougars are 5-3 at home this year. Facing Linfield for the first time in program history. The 0-2 high and away. We've seen the Cougars take on other members of the Northwest Conference before. The 1-2 pitch. Swung on and missed. Strikeout for Liam Miller. Able to get Cameron Skinner to chase on the outside half. Right after the hit batter, a couple gone now for Linfield. The Cougars trying to cap another scoreless frame. Trent Wainfeld, the right fielder. Miller trying to land it on the outside half, but just missed. Miller seeing a lot of righties here out of the bullpen. Just 2 left-handed hitters, Bodie Smith and Danny Kahn. Kahn's 2 for 2 today. Cameron Skinner, who just struck out, has the only other Linfield hit of the afternoon. Cougs have 2 runs on 3 hits. Elijah Heinlein home run last inning. 1-1 forces Wainfeld to get out of the way. 2 balls, 1 strike. Holm, the runner over at first base. Ground ball at third, but foul. Cam McGee making a great play to stop it. We saw him make some tremendous plays in Los Angeles this last weekend. I was down there with the Cougs. McGee was phenomenal over at third base. Miller's pitch. Back-to-back punch-outs to wrap up the top of the 5th inning. 1 swinging, 1 looking at the halfway point in this one. The Cougs shutting out Linfield 2-0. New pitcher Steve Kovac for Linfield. In the bottom of the 5th inning, Washington State a 2-0 lead on the visiting Linfield Wildcats. Jake Harvey, Cam McGee, Kyle Russell coming up for the Cougars to face Kovac, who's also in his 8th inning of work this season, 9 strikeouts to 9 walks. Kovac from Portland, Oregon. He's a freshman on this team. Harvey hit by a pitch in his first plate appearance back since March the 4th. And swings at the first pitch here. Lines a short hop picked out by Kahn. Throw to first. Beats Harvey to the bag for out number 1. So leadoff man retired for the Cougar 5th. Back to the top of the order for Cam McGee. Continuing to keep an eye on scores today in the Pac-12. Couple games we mentioned going on. Oregon State at Seattle U. That game, 2-0 Beavers in the bottom of the 5th. What a surprising start to the year for Oregon State. To be 3-6 in the pack, not where they expected to be. Cougs took 2 of 3 from them earlier this year. Cam McGee already a single and a fielder's choice today. Was well ahead in this count. 3 balls, no strikes. Cal baseball, we're finding out today, postponed in the Bay Area against San Francisco. So they will not play today against the Dons. McGee just looking for a strike. He got it. Now the 3-1 from Steve Kovac, and McGee launches it to center field, but on a line to Garrett Ringer for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 gone for the Cougars in the bottom of the 5th. Not the hitting game Washington State had in mind. There have been a lot of balls squared up, some good swings. Things hit right at guys, but the Cougs not putting together the pressure on the base paths that we know Brian Green has come to like, and a swing and a miss at the first pitch from Kovac by Kyle Russell. Russell came to score in the game's first run, a sac fly back in the first inning. And takes strike 2 from Kovac. Linfield pitching by committee today, 5th different pitcher. And Kovac has it hit high and deep to right center field by Russell. Russell giving this a ride, and Russell out of here in right center field. A 3-0 Cougar lead on the second solo shot of the day for Washington State. Russell going opposite field for his first home run this season, and the Cougars lead it 3-zip. A nice opposite way hitting there with Russell welcome back into the Cougar dugout with open arms. Second Cougar home run of the day, 388 feet for Kyle Russell. Just able to nestle it over the top of that fence in right center field. Two-0 now to Sam Brown. Brown got out ahead of his last at-bat, steamed one to center field on a line drive, gets a hold of this on the on this pitch. Sam Brown driving it out to right center field. First time around, he smoked it to center on a line. This time, home run number 7 of the season for Sam Brown. And back-to-back homers for the Cougars to take a 4-0 lead. Sam Brown driving it 410 feet out to right center field. A nice little display of power for the Cougars in the 5th. Brown was not going to miss on that 2-0 pitch right over the plate, and a breaking ball. Lost all the way from Steve Kovac. So now he's behind McKeon, 2 balls and no strikes, and time called. Dan Spencer going to go visit. With his freshman right-hander. Try to get a little confidence back into him after he got the first 2 Cougs quickly on a ground out to second. Kind of a lazy fly ball to center field. So now he's got to fight back in this at-bat to Jacob McKeon. 2 balls, no strikes. Now 5 hits for the Cougars, 3 of them solo home runs over the last 2 innings. McKeon fouling it straight back. So the Cougs with back-to-back home runs. Second time this year. Sam Brown, Elijah Heinlein went back-to-back against San Francisco earlier this season. Fly ball into the left center field gap will be played in left by Bodie Smith, and he makes the catch for out number 3. So the second back-to-back home runs of the season for the Cougars have them out 4-0 at the end of 5 thanks to Kyle Russell and Sam Brown. Connor Barrison taking over for Washington State, going to the top of the 6th inning. 3 solo home runs over the last 2 innings for the Cougars, now putting a little space in this one. 4-0 Washington State. And this is the debut this year for the senior from Redmond, Washington. So we'll see him get underway. 13 games last year, all in relief. He was really good. 4.5 ERA, 22 strikeouts. Opposing hitters only hit 197 against him in 16 innings. 1 save with a 3-0 record last year. 22 games, 1 as a starter his sophomore year in 2021. And the COVID shortened season, 6 games, and then 20 games his freshman year. So a guy with a ton of experience the Cougs are getting here. 61 appearances. This is bullpen outing number 60 on the Cougar career for Connor Barrison. So a good sign for the Cougars to be able to add him into the mix now. Garrett Ringer, Jake Hoskins, Danny Kahn due up in the 6th for Linfield. 4-0 Washington State. Connor Barrison behind Liam Miller. 9 pitches to tally his inning of work with a pair of strikeouts. 19 pitches to tally that inning of work with 2 strikeouts, no hits, no runs. Barrison just missing the lower outside corner on his second pitch. 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Fastball high, 92 from Barrison there, 2-1. So the Cougars will be able to add Barrison into the bullpen. Getting some reinforcements in Barrison and Harvey before the UCLA series this weekend. Nice pitch, another fastball for a strike. Well located there by Barrison. The senior from Redmond High School, Redmond, Washington. Big swing and a miss. Barrison, a strikeout right away in his season debut. And the Cougar pitching staff has fanned 3 in a row.
Shortstop number 5, Jake Hoskins.
Great job by Connor Barrison to come right out of the bullpen and strike out the first hitter that he sees. 95th career strikeout. Tossed by Barrison. Low and away for ball 1 to Hoskins. Jake Hoskins 0 for 2, fly out to right field. Grounded back to the mound in the 3rd. Hoskins hitting this hard into the left center field gap. Nice swing into left center for a base hit. So Hoskins gets a Linfield its 4th hit of the day. Still the Wildcats looking for multi-hits in an inning for the first time and multiple base runners. Danny Kahn would be a good guy to try to get that done. Couple hits today already. Singles in the 1st and 4th innings. Kahn, first pitch swinging on the fastball. Barrison tried to put a bare hand up to it, but 3 hits now for Danny Kahn. And wasting no time. He had to grind out his first couple at-bats, but first pitch swinging to make it 1st and 2nd with 1 out for Linfield. And Kahn seeing it really well today. So the Wildcats a couple on with 1 out in the top of the 6th, putting a little pressure on Connor Barrison. Brandon Passion now. Passion first pitch swinging right back up the box. Carbon copy of what Danny Kahn just did. And a stop sign at 3rd to hold up Hoskins. So Kahn to 2nd. Passion a 1-pitch single, and the bases are loaded for Linfield with 1 out in the top of the 6th. Exact replicas for Danny Kahn and Brandon Passion. First pitch swinging. Getting on the fastball from Connor Barrison. So Tyler Marr will try to get Linfield on the board today. Marr 0 for 2 so far. Barrison's first pitch on the lower outside corner for a strike. A strikeout for Barrison out of the bullpen, then back-to-back-to-back singles for Linfield. Big spot here in the 6th inning. high chopper. Russell having to wait on it. Doesn't have time for the runner at second. Has to just go to first for out number 2. And Marr will get the RBI on the ground outs. 4-1 now Cougars. Linfield on the board. They do have to trade it out for that run. Jake Hoskins scoring on the play. Danny Kahn now at third. Brandon Passion at second with 2 outs, and the Cougars calling the infield together. Anthony Claggett coming out of the dugout. Likely Connor Barrison was on a pitch count anyways, and Anthony Claggett will make a change here in the top of the 6th inning. Couple in scoring position for Linfield. It's a 4-1 lead for Washington State, and the Cougars will go to the bullpen for a 4th time today when we come back. Eighth appearance of the season for McCabe Cottrell with a couple outs in the top of the 6th. Linfield 3 hits in the inning to put some pressure on the Cougars. Cottrell's last outing against USC this weekend, an inning, 3 hits, 2 runs that were both unearned, and 1 strikeout. That was back on Friday night's 13-3 loss to the Trojans. Inherits runners at second and third with 2 outs to face Nick Holm. Holm struck out looking in the second, was hit by a pitch in the 5th inning. So we'll see what Nick Holm can do in the 6th. Can he get the Wildcats closer or even tie this game with a big swing? Holm does have 4 home runs this season and a team leading 21 runs driven in for Linfield. McCabe Cottrell trying to get the final out of the 6th, and his first pitch finds the lower outside corner for strike 1. RBI ground out with the bases loaded for Tyler Marr so far here in the inning is the run production. The singles were for Jake Hoskins, who's already scored, Danny Kahn, who's now at third base and 3 for 3 today, and Brandon Passion. Kahn and Passion back-to-back hard hit singles back up the box. Big swing and a miss. Holm looking for home run number 5 on that 1-1 pitch. And Cottrell a pitch away from turning the page to the bottom of the 6th and limiting the damage to just 1 run for Linfield. Cottrell's offering sits away from the right-handed hitting Holm, 2-2. Connor Barrison responsible for the runners on second and third base. Hit high and deep down the left field line by Holm. It is curling foul. Jake Harvey unable to get there. It's still 2-2. A breaking ball hung in there to Holm. Earns another opportunity with 2 strikes here in the top of the 6th inning. Cottrell's pitch. Called strike 3 on the lower inside corner, and McCabe Cottrell strands a couple runners for Linfield in the top half of the inning. The Wildcats strike for 1. Cougs going to the bottom of the 6th, lead this one 4-1. Grant Knox to pitch in the bottom of the 6th inning for Linfield. 6th different pitcher for the Wildcats. Knox, this season, his numbers there, 2-1, 11th relief appearance here for Grant Knox. Does have the 11 strikeouts. Opponents are hitting .284 off of Knox this year. So Steve Kovac, 1 inning, 2 runs, both on the solo shots for Kyle Russell and Sam Brown last inning. Jacob Morrow leads off the last of the 6th. Morrow taking strike 1. Morrow 0 for 2 in this one. Ground out to short and a fly out to center. Tries to check his swing, and he did. This time goes around, though. Cougar standouts today: Sam Brown, Elijah Heinlein, Kyle Russell, each with home runs. Morrow's ground ball gobbled up for out number 1. Nice play from Hoskins to Passion. And Bryce Matthews with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Four of the Cougars' 5 hits from the 1 through 3 hitters. Everyone else a little quiet today outside of Elijah Heinlein, who's on deck. First pitch swinging for Matthews, and Matthews on a rope into center field for a base knock. Good at-bat by Bryce Matthews. And Elijah Heinlein was all over a 2-1 pitch in his last at-bat. Home run down the left field line. But you knew off the bat that it was home run number 5 on the season for the Cougar infielder. Matthews having to dive back into the bag. We mentioned the 3 solo home runs for the Cougars. The Cougs are only 1 for 8 today at the plate with runners on base. Heinlein changes that with a base knock through the left side. Hard hit, hammered past a diving Nick Holm. Man, the home run was squared up by Heinlein, over 100 off the bat. That was 99 off the bat. And Heinlein hammered a line out to center as well. He has been right on all of his swings today. First and second with 1 out for the Cougs. Couple hit day for Elijah Heinlein now. And Max Hartman was thinking about a bunt, pulls it back for ball 1. Hartman, his last time out against Gonzaga, his first home run. Hitting that up in Spokane, getting a multi-hit game. He's now 2 for 8 at the beginning of his college career. No throw, goes back to second base. Matthews at second now, Heinlein at first. Counts a ball and a strike to Max Hartman. Hartman taking a healthy swing at it. It's 1-2 now. Cougars excited about this freshman. Played for Canada's U18 team. A turnaround to second, and the throw to Jake Hoskins, who wasn't on the bag, but Grant Knox, you've got to release it with these new pitch clock rules, and he wasn't just going to turn and show a throw. He was going to throw it to somebody, so he still found Hoskins around the second base bag. Pitch to Hartman, and that hits the deck. 2-2. The 3 solo home runs proving to be the difference for Washington State right now in the 6th inning. Now ball 3. Count full. Hartman struck out swinging in the second, grounded out to second base in the 4th. We'll get a payoff pitch with 1 out in the bottom of the 6th. Takes a swing at it, hits it in the air to center field. It's taking Ringer back near the track, reaching up to make the catch. Bryce Matthews will tag third on the play. And 2 away for the Cougars. Now runners at the corners for Jake Harvey. Harvey 0 for 1 and hit by a pitch in this game today. Tyler Marr going to get things set up defensively for Linfield. Third base side up. Nick Holm even with the bag at third. Harvey does have speed for the Cougs. First pitch bounces in. Harvey, before the injury, had stolen 5 bases for Washington State. We saw him try to bunt an earlier at-bat today. Gets a start ahead of Grant Knox. 2 balls, no strikes. Linfield left a couple in scoring position in the top half of the inning. Cougars trying to not let this opportunity go in the 6th, and it's now 3 balls, no strikes to Jake Harvey. 4-1 Cougar lead in this 6th inning. And ball 4, too low. 4-pitch walk to Jake Harvey. So the bases now loaded for the top of the Cougar order.
Third baseman number 7,
Cam McGee comes up with the bag stuffed. And a chance to put a little padding on this game in the 6th. McGee 1 for 3 to this point. A single back in the 1st inning. And the first pitch low and inside. Linfield has a right-hander going out in the bullpen down the line. McGee taking strike 1. Despite the end of the hitting streak and the on-base streak for Cam McGee, Brian Green saying coming out of this weekend, one of the most competitive bats in the Cougar lineup this year. McGee, other way, just foul down the left field line. A little late, ripping it left of the bag, and now ball and 2 strikes to him. Native of Anaheim, California. His family was in attendance definitely on Sunday, saw him leaving the ballpark. Terry and Teresa's parents, and a line drive into center field, put down for a base hit. Cougs gonna score a couple in Bryce Matthews and Elijah Heinlein to take a 6-1 lead. And while his parents were there down in LA, they're gonna be proud to see that 2 RBI hit here in the 6th to give the Cougars a 5-run lead, 6-1. Couple hits today for Cam McGee, and now add a couple ribbies as well. Jake Harvey to third base on the play. Still 2 outs. Kyle Russell, fresh off a home run his last time up, takes strike 1. RBI 18 and 19 this year for Cam McGee. Pitch low to Kyle Russell, 1-1. Russell's 1 for 2. First home run of the season last at bat. And now a pitch outside from him. 5th career home run for Kyle Russell. Had 3 last year, 1 in 2021. And the 2-1 skips in. So Grant Knox in danger of loading the bases for the Cougars again. Cougs just brought a couple home on an RBI single. The 3-1 pitch, runner goes, hit through the left side by Kyle Russell, and it will score Jake Harvey to give the Cougs a 7-1 lead. Second run driven in today for Kyle Russell, and the Cougs a little 3-run inning here, now producing with a couple outs in the 6th. Might force Linfield into a change. Cam McGee out to second base. Kyle Russell on at first. We mentioned there was action out in the Linfield bullpen, and we will see a pitching change here in the bottom of the 6th inning. New arm coming in is Jet Jaco, and we'll see him in just a moment. Cougs leading 7-1 in the bottom of the 6th in Pullman. Bottom of the 6th inning, a 7-1 lead for Washington State as the Cougars have added 3 to their total here in the 6th. They've done it with 2 outs. Had a couple on, 2 outs. Jake Harvey walk, loaded the bases. 2 RBI single for Cam McGee and RBI knock for Kyle Russell through the left side. Jet Jaco. See the limited numbers this year. Opponent's hitting .231. Only the 4th appearance for Jaco's. Giving up 6 earned runs in 3 2/3 innings. Sam Brown, first pitch swinging, trying to drive it up the middle. Knocked down, great flip by Jake Hoskins. Magnificent play behind second for the Linfield shortstop. And he puts an end to a 3-run inning for Washington State. Cam McGee, Kyle Russell deliver for the Cougs. They lead 7-1. McCabe Cottrell will stay on for Washington State into the top of the 7th inning. Got the final out in the 6th. Bodie Smith, Cameron Skinner, Trent Wainfeld due up for Linfield in the 7th. Trevor Williams and our Pac-12 Plus crew with you here from Pullman today. 7-1 Cougars. And a first pitch fastball from McCabe Cottrell is in the zone for strike 1. So a little more room put in this by the Cougs here this inning. Now with the 3 runs in the 6th. This inning working with a 6-run lead. Smith struck out swinging his first at-bat in the 2nd, lined out to left field in the 5th. Cougars have thrown 6 strikeouts as a team, actually 8 strikeouts as a team now. McCabe Cottrell has the last 2 and gets Bodie Smith swinging for out number 1 in the 7th. Gage Hardy, pinch hitter for Cameron Skinner in the 7th inning. This is the DH spot for Linfield. Next pitch, and Hardy takes strike 2. Couple strikes for McCabe Cottrell, looking for 3 straight punch-outs. Gets a ground ball at first. Weekly hit the other way to Jacob McKeon for out number 2. And a quick 2-up, 2-down for Linfield in the 7th. Trent Wainfeld was due up next. Nate Kassler will pinch hit here in the 7th for Trent Wainfeld. So we'll see where Castler fits in defensively. Wainfeld was the right fielder today. This creates a left-on-left matchup for McCabe Cottrell on his first pitch breaking ball in tight. One 0 low and away, 2 balls, no strikes. The lone run for Linfield last inning. Tyler Marr ground out with the bases loaded. Cougs have 7 runs on 9 hits. Linfield a run on 6 hits. Neither team in error today. And a fly ball into mid-range left center field. Easy for Bryce Matthews to make the catch for out number 3 in a quick 1-2-3 inning thrown by McCabe Cottrell. Nice one in the top of the 7th as we stretch in Pullman. Washington State 7, Linfield 1. All right, little guy taking in the game today. He's stretching, going to the bottom of the 7th. A 7-1 lead for Washington State. Cougs with 3 solo home runs in the middle innings, 3 runs last inning, all with 2 outs on a couple singles. Jacob McKeon, Jacob Morrow, Bryce Matthews in the 7th for the Cougs, and the first pitch skips in for ball 1. McKeon an RBI on a sac fly back in the first inning. He opened the Cougars scoring today. Jet Jaco got the final out in the 6th. 2 balls, no strikes. Cougars have a chance today to say goodbye to a 6-game losing streak. UCLA coming to Pullman this weekend. Pac-12 home series number 2 for the Cougars. 6 o'clock on Friday. 4 o'clock and noon Saturday and Sunday as Jacob McKeon, a 4-pitch walk to open up the last of the 7th for Washington State. Matt Chasnow will be here on the radio this weekend. All 3 games also available on the Pac-12 network this weekend. And then BYU set for noon on Monday to wrap up the Cougar homestand. Big swing and a miss to open the at-bat for Jacob Morrow. McKeon on with the free pass here in the inning. We're able to take that pitch low and away. 11 of the Cougars' next 15 games at home. Good chance for the Cougars to get on a run here in the middle of this season. Morrow, big swing on the 2-1, coming up empty, 2-2. Cougars the last couple of years, though, under Brian Green, by about the middle of the month of April, they're rounding into form. And that would be around the time that Arizona comes to Pullman. They would still have 5 pack series left, important series down the stretch of this season. Payoff pitch coming to Jacob Morrow, leadoff man on. McKeon here in the inning. Morrow shoots it to short. Hoskins to Kahn, on to Passion for the double play. So that erases the leadoff walk. And Bryce Matthews will try to do something now with the bases empty and 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Matthews a single last time up. Parked it in center field. First pitch swinging, drives it hard through the open right side. A couple hit game for Bryce Matthews, 2 for 3 today. And continuing to round into that form of what we saw last year. And he was an above 300 hitter. Seems like he's seeing the ball really well, putting together some great at-bats right now. Now over the 200 mark with the batting average. He's up to 222. The performance so far today, and Elijah Heinlein takes ball 1. Heinlein has also had a terrific game. Hard hit balls each 3 times up. Solo home run in the 4th. Absolutely crushed a single last inning. Heinlein, another big swing. Hard grounder at Hoskins, but another sure play for the Linfield shortstop. And that does it for the Cougars in the 7th. Bryce Matthews left on. He's 2 for 3 today as Cougs lead by 6, 7-1 here on the Palouse. Couple changes for the Cougars. You see Elias Farland warming up for Washington State for the top of the 8th inning. Also, Nate Swartz has entered the game for Max Hartman as a defensive change in right field. Elias Farland this year in 4 innings, 1-0 with the 6.75 ERA and the 4 strikeouts to 3 walks. Garrett Ringer, Jake Hoskins, Danny Kahn, 9-1-2 due up for Linfield in the visitors' 8th. Final line for McCabe Cottrell. Inning and a third out of the Cougar bullpen. No hits or runs. And 2 strikeouts for Cottrell. So good showing for him. Cottrell threw 16 pitches. Will be a different hitter to lead it off for Linfield here in the inning. Garrett Moen, senior from Vancouver, will pinch hit in the 8th for Garrett Ringer. Ringer had struck out twice. So a fastball catches the lower outside corner to start Moen off 0-1. Elias Farland working for the Cougs. And the next pitch. Too tight. Ball and a strike. 14 appearances last year for Farland, all out of the bullpen. This is appearance number 4 this year for him. Bunt shown, pulled back. There's strike 2 on an 89-mile-an-hour fastball from Farland. Crowd is filled in as the game has gone on today. Ground ball at short. Russell scooping it left side, throwing to first in time for out number 1. Gets Garrett Moen. And Linfield making another change. Ethan Rhodes will hit for Jake Hoskins. Rhodes from Seattle. Hoskins singled last time up in the 6th. Top of the order was the productive part of this order for Linfield. 5 of their 6 hits came from the first 3 hitters. Pitch low and away from Rhodes, 1-0. Farland's next pitch popped up on the infield. Elijah Heinlein calling for it at second base and makes the catch for out number 2.
Second baseman number 2, Danny Kahn.
7 straight retired on the Linfield Wildcats side, and Danny Kahn will come up now with 2 outs. Kahn 3 for 3 today. Singles in the 1st, 4th, and 6th innings. And takes the first pitch high and away. Kahn, a real bright spot in this Linfield order this afternoon. Hits it right side. How about 4 for 4 for Danny Kahn? A single into right field. 4 singles for the Linfield second baseman. And he owns 4 of the Wildcats' 7 hits today on the Palouse. Brandon Passion going to try to tack onto it with a couple outs. And first pitch blocked by Morrow, down and away to his right. Linfield struggled. That was just the first 2-out hit for the Wildcats. The 1-0 lifted down the right field line. Swartz long run to this, curling in the corner. Swartz making the catch in foul ground. showing off the range to get to it and puts it away for out number 3. The Cougars back to the plate for the last of the 8th. They lead in this one 7-1. Connor Nelson taking over in the 8th inning for Linfield. Nelson, who's worked 8 2/3 innings this year, an 0-2 record, 11 earned runs, 11 strikeouts to 7 walks. See the numbers there? Jet Jaco, inning and a third. A hit, no runs, a walk, his line. So Nelson to face Nate Swartz, Jake Harvey, and Cam McGee. Nate Swartz made the running play in foul ground for the final out in the top half. So now he'll hit after being a defensive replacement in this 8th inning. Fouls the first pitch into the glove of Tyler Marr. Should be Nate Kassler in right, Garrett Moen in center, and Ethan Rhodes now at shortstop. 0-2 and Nate Swartz. Swartz takes ball 1. Eighth different pitcher today for Linfield. And a big swing and a miss for Nate Swartz, trying to get to it on the upper half. That is strikeout number 3 for Wildcat pitching today. Connor Nelson using that high fastball to retire Nate Swartz. So Jake Harvey now with 1 out. Harvey 0 for 1. It's also been hit by a pitch and walked. Harvey fouls the first away to Marr. The 0-1 lands outside. Harvey scored a run in the 6th following his walk. Mentioned Washington State has UCLA coming up this weekend. College of Idaho back in McMinnville, Oregon for Linfield coming up this weekend. Harvey takes the 1-1 inside. In fact, Linfield will not leave the state of Oregon for the remainder of the season, even their road games in the state. Harvey unloading on a 2-1 pitch, and Jake Harvey, welcome back to the lineup. his first home run as a Coug. Makes it 8-1 Washington State in the 8th. Another well-struck baseball for the Cougs. 4th home run of the day for Washington State. Tallies 390, 104 off the bat for Jake Harvey. And first pitch swinging for Cam McGee through the left side for a base hit. So now 12 hits for the Cougars and Cam McGee, 3-hit day to give the Cougs another base runner here in the 8th inning. Cougs have been tremendous 2-out hitters today, 6 for 12 with 2 outs, including that 3-run 6th inning. McGee reading the ball in turf, and he takes second. So not only the single for Cam McGee, but alert on the base paths to move up 90 feet on a wild pitch. Kyle Russell, one of the 4 Cougar home runs back in the 5th inning. Wanted home run number 2 in the day. The big swing at the breaking ball. McGee, Russell, Brown, Matthews, Heinlein, all multi-hit games. And Russell hits another one hard to left field. Leaping try by Smith, but it's off his glove. McGee's rounding third and coming home. There'll be no throw to the plate, and the Cougars lead 9-1 on the double for Kyle Russell. Russell's 3rd run driven in the game, and he tailed it just far enough away from Bodie Smith to add to his day. Sam Brown will be up next with a man in scoring position, not before Linfield goes to the bullpen. It's 9-1 Cougars after a couple big swings here in the bottom of the 8th inning. We'll be back into the Linfield bullpen with Gavin Ludlow when we return. Gavin Ludlow becoming the 9th pitcher for Linfield this afternoon. Washington State with a 9-1 lead. Cougars have added a couple to the total here in the 8th inning. Solo home run for Jake Harvey. Single for Cam McGee. moved up on a wild pitch, scored on RBI double for Kyle Russell. Ludlow has worked a lot of innings this year, 22. And great numbers to go along with it for the right-hander. Sam Brown is 2 for 4. Massive home run to right center field in the 5th inning. And first pitch swinging, fouls it out of play on the third base side. Brown now has 7 home runs on the season. He's driven in 26 runs this year. Kyle Russell with a 3 RBI day today. Move his total on the season to 8. Russell not moving on the pitch in the turf, 2-1. Thirteen hits now for the Cougars after 3 in this inning. Brown out ahead in this count, 2 balls and a strike. And ball 3. Brown really took advantage of a 2-0 pitch in the 5th for his home run. Good count for him here. Brown takes ball 4. A walk to make it 1st and 2nd for the Cougars with 1 out in the 8th.
First baseman, number 19, Jacob McKeon.
Both a right-hander and a left-hander getting ready out in the Cougar bullpen. Jacob McKeon, first pitch swinging, chopper at third, step on the bag for Holm across the diamond, double play, and that ends the 8th for Washington State. We'll see if it's Ryan Orr coming on in the 9th. It looked like he was getting hot out there in the bullpen. Jake Harvey, his first Cougar home run, RBI double for Kyle Russell as well, and it's now 9-1 Cougars headed to the 9th. It is Ryan Orr taking over in the 9th for the Cougars. 7th pitcher for the Cougs today. And he'll face a new hitter, Brett Joner. Ryan Orr's numbers this year, 10 and 3rd innings, 2.61 ERA, and that 1-1 record. So Joner to lead off. And then it looks like we will see Jackson Horner in the inning as well. Ryan Orr trying to put the finishing touches on an 8-run win for the Cougs if they can get it done here in the top of the 9th. Put an end to a 6-game losing streak and turn the page to a Pac-12 home series with UCLA this weekend. Already, here's his first pitch to Brett Joner, and high and inside for ball 1. And in and out of the glove of Jacob Morrow. 2 balls, no strikes. Now 3-0. Tyler Marr, who's pinch hit 4 here in the 9th inning, had the only RBI today for Linfield to this point. Ground out with the bases loaded in the 6th. A strike to get back into the count. 91-mile-an-hour fastball from Ryan Orr. And a fly ball down the right field line. Foul ground. Swartz trying to chase down another one. He made a tremendous catch there to end the top of the 8th. Counts full to Brett Joner, leadoff man in the 9th for Linfield. And a ground ball left side, charging play for Cam McGee, and he lost it on the transfer. Unusual for the sure-handed Cougar third baseman. And frustrated with that one. He's made so many tremendous plays. Brett Joner aboard on an error. And Jackson Homer. Will stand in next. First pitch strike to Homer. Braden Woods waits on deck for Linfield. Close on the lower outside corner for Orr. It's a ball and a strike. So 7 of the 9 spots in Linfield's original order have been replaced now here in the 9th inning. Breaking ball low and away, 2-1. Danny Kahn and Brandon Passion, the only originals from the lineup still playing for Linfield today. They have 5 of the team's 7 hits. 4 of them for Kahn. Ground ball to Russell goes to second for 1. Heinlein not going to offer a throw on the back end, but the umpires have called interference on the slide at second base by Brett Joner. Dan Spencer coming out of the dugout. Didn't care for the call too much, but it's 2 outs for Linfield on the interference on the slide. Dan Spencer, the former associate head coach. So 2 away. And Braden Woods now with Linfield down to its final out in the top of the 9th. Close on the lower outside corner for Ryan Orr. Ball and a strike. 2-1. Cougars trying to cap a 9-run, 13-hit day. Big swing and a miss. It's 2-2. 90-mile-an-hour fastball past Braden Woods. Cougars have thrown 8 total strikeouts today. Ryan Orr, the 2-2 pitch, and it's fouled off. Seven different pitchers for the Cougars. Only one run, and it came on a ground out. The 2-2 pitch. Bounces in. Woods able to hold back, 3-2. Funky inning. Base runner via an error. Erased. Interference on a slide play at second. The payoff pitch. Orr gets a grounder left side, but it's through for a base hit. 2-out single for Braden Woods. And a base knock for the freshman from McMinnville here in the top of the ninth inning. So Gage Hardy's turn with 2 outs at the top of the ninth. Still Cougs by 8. Hardy takes strike 1. It was out of the glove of Morrow again, but it was over the plate, 0-1. Pitch on the upper half, fouled back, 0-2. Orr again has Linfield down to its final strike. And the pitch outside, ball and 2 strikes. Orr trying to cap a nice day for the Cougar pitching staff. His 1-2 pitch, strike 3 called, and that does it for Washington State this afternoon. The Cougars pick up the win 9-1 over Linfield. Along the way, the Cougs hit 4 home runs, a 7th of the year for Sam Brown, highlighting them all as the Cougars win it big on this Wednesday afternoon, 9-1. For Jared Prengruber, the rest of our Pac-12 Plus crew, this is Trevor Williams saying so long from Pullman. Cougars back in action this weekend when they host UCLA. Thanks for being with us, everybody. Cougs win it today, 9-1.